here to make sense of the crazy week that was. From Edmonton, sports and business writer for the Toronto Star, Morgan Campbell. From Washington, D.C. today, sports editor at The Nation magazine and host of the Edge of Sports podcast, Dave Zirin. And Dolly Karnick is off covering Summer Olympics, so filling in today, baseball writer and author of the upcoming book, Perfect Game, Stacey Mays Fowles is here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, so it's been an awful week in the United States. A number of killings this morning. It's Dallas. Earlier this week, we all saw the news of, 2 black men killed by police, Alton Sterling in Louisiana and Philando Castile in Minnesota. Before the Dallas shooting, so yesterday and, before that this week, we saw a lot of athletes who have been responding on social media. Dave, who's responding? What did he say? Who's been responding?
Well, a lot of athletes have been responding. I mean, LeBron James, so you can't get much higher on the cultural pyramid than that. Responding, threw down a hashtag of Black Lives Matter. Bradley Beal, people should look this up, Washington Wizards shooting guard, put out an impassioned, longer statement about just his anger about what's happening and frustration, which I think is so shared across the landscape. And Serena Williams, which her statement started with, I can't believe I got to wake up in London while I'm trying to win Wimbledon and deal with this. So the responses have been across the board. They've been very widespread. They've also been very deep. One of the ones that's particularly significant in my mind was Leonard Fournette. Why is that significant? He's a star running back for LSU. That's in Baton Rouge. Of course, that's where Andy Sterling was killed. So that's significant for several reasons, not just the Baton Rouge connection, but also because a college athlete speaking out holds considerable more risk than somebody with a guaranteed contract and a shoe deal. So that has a lot of layers to it with Leonard Fournette. The one thing I would say, and this is very troubling to me, is we should be explicit about what we're saying here. We're only talking really about black athletes when we're talking about speaking out. And when we're talking about athletes who are being asked by the media, what do you think about this? And I'm very frustrated with this because I want to know why isn't it Bryce Harper's responsibility to have something to say about this? I mean, this is our world. And if we're upset about what's taking place, and if we think that athletes should be able to use their platform to say something about the world, then it's ridiculous to me that we should segregate our questions, particularly when I think it's the white majority in the United States that needs to come correct and figure out what side they're on when it comes to these killings.
Well, Morgan, as baseball, we're seeing many black athletes galvanized and, by police violence. Are we seeing a new era for political displays in sports? Does this have longevity, so to speak?
It's a tough question. I was hoping it doesn't have longevity, only in that I would hope that these shootings stop. They shouldn't have to have longevity. The shootings, extrajudicial killings of unarmed black men, or black men legally licensed to exercise their Second Amendment rights should stop. So in that sense, I would hope it doesn't have longevity. The other thing too I noticed is, to Dave's point about only certain athletes, I noticed the guys speaking out are guys, one, who are in sports that are majority African American. We're talking about the NFL and the NBA. Also sports that are in their off-season. Yep. Right? And we haven't heard from baseball players. We haven't heard from athletes who are not black, right? And guys who, I guess, feel they have more at risk, right, for expressing solidarity. Because as Dave said, you can make the case that this is black people's issue, but it's not, right? If we're all here in the United States or in Canada, then it's everybody's problem. And yet, what you haven't seen is white athletes stepping up and saying, listen, in solidarity with Andrew Richardson, when he at the Cleveland Browns game, he came out for introductions in that T-shirt that said justice for George Crawford, justice for Samir Rice, and he called to help mainstream media from the football hot take artist. Now, what would it have taken for one of his teammates, black teammates, white teammates, to say, well, I stand in solidarity with Andrew Hawkins? That's something we have to say.
Stacey, you cover baseball, so we haven't seen a lot of baseball players with any sort of speaking.
The thing in baseball that seems, it's a very much stick to the sport kind of environment, and you very, very rarely see baseball players speaking publicly about any issues. And
is it a cultural thing to
I do think, and we have talked on this panel a great deal about how baseball is very mired in the past and antiquated belief systems, and athletes are very much punished for being human and having a voice. So, both of you raised great points about how you see other sports tend to be more vocal, and baseball seems to be so behind.
All right, we're going to have to leave that topic there. Let's move on. A lot of Olympic news this week as well. But I want to start with this. This is a German Paralympian named Heiko Kroger, and he's talking about really water quality.